Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2. Would you welcome, please, the Lady Dons.
You can't hear Bernie, can you? I can't hear him if he's talking.
I can't hear Bernie, no. I cannot.
Last year, the IPFW Mastodons were 24-6. One of those 24 wins, a victory over the University of Texas Pan American. This afternoon, the Lady Broncs are again the opponents of the IPFW Mastodons, and the first game for IPFW in the IPFW Invitational. Hi, I'm Mike Maas, joined by Kent Horman here on College 5 Sports. Kent, the Dons won 24 matches a year ago. They're 9-8 this year, but it's a much tougher schedule for Kelly Hartley-Hutton.
Much tougher schedule, Michael, and coming off an emotional 5-game victory Tuesday at Northern Illinois. Kelly Hartley-Hutton has taken on all comers this year, and I think she probably did that on purpose, wanting to really beef up the schedule. She does that anyway, but I think really wanting to get ready for next year when it'll be the first year the Volleyball will compete in the Mid-Continent Conference. They're going to have a tough one here with Texas Pan American, but they'll have another one later on tonight against a future Mid-Con opponent in South Dakota State.
Well, one person who we've been used to seeing for 4 years on the court is Fabiana Sosa. She's not on the court, but she's still helping out the team.
Well, yeah, graduate assistant, kind of getting her feet wet as a coach, but I kind of assessed this season. What would life be like after Fabi? First time in 4 years you haven't had her on the floor, the perennial go-to gal, the perennial All-American candidate. You have the 3 seniors this year in Claire Jackson, Amanda Feaster, Nicole Howell, and Kelly Hartley-Hutton has been looking for that senior leadership. But I'll tell you something else. A lot of the freshmen that she has brought in have seen plenty of court time early on, so I still think at this point, through the first 17 matches, now we head for number 18, I still think she's looking for that perfect blend as she tries to get the chemistry together.
Well, we'll see what happens this afternoon. It's IPFW and UTPA. Please stay tuned. Starting lineups and opening serve are just ahead right here on College 5 Sports. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. Along with Kent Horman, this is Mike Maas getting ready to call the action. And today's match in the IPFW Women's Volleyball Invitational featuring the Lady Broncs of University of Texas Pan American and the Mastodons of IPFW. Kent, IPFW, as you mentioned a few moments ago, coming in on a 3-match winning streak. It's always nice to be coming off a win rather than off a loss.
And I think it's a situation where Kelly Hartley-Hutton is looking for that spark for this team to start stringing together victories. She's accustomed to her team winning 7, 8, 9 matches in a row, and with the 9-8 record, they certainly haven't done yet this year, so maybe it'll start with this tournament.
Jessica Dominiak has the opening serve, and she also has a dig. And the first point of the match goes to IPFW. A nice play there by Jessica Miller, the 6'1 sophomore out of Concordia Lutheran High School.
Well, and Jess Miller is really starting to step up to establish herself in the middle.
And the Lady Broncs are having trouble getting the ball over the net. Dominiak setting up Miller again. And it's another point. Kind of imperative for IPFW to get off to a quick start. We'll fill you in on the players as we go along, as there is a service ace or service error, I should say. So the Lady Bronx will get their first serve of the afternoon. And that will be Chelsea Blakely, their setter. Back-to-back service errors, Kent.
Well, and I'll tell you, Mike, I was just thinking, you talked about getting off to a good start. I think Kelly Hartley-Hutton would really like to win this in 3 because another match tonight, so reduce the fatigue factor.
Sonara Martins with the serve. And UTPA with the point. 3-2 is our score. In case you're just tuning in for the first time, we play rally point scoring. It's a point on every serve. You play to 30 games 1 through 4, and if you have to go to a game 5, it's to 15. Nice play there by Nicole Howell, the senior from Bishop Luers High School.
Well, and there's the experience that Nicole brings to the table. She's got a big arm and she can really put the ball down, but she saw the defense up and just dinked it right over. Crafty play.
And just hitting the line is Kelly Phillips. She's a 5'10 sophomore from Chandler, Arizona. This is a young team, Ken, only 3 seniors on UTPA.
Well, really youth against youth. IPFW, just the 3 seniors.
Nicole Howe, dug out by the libero, Karen Lyons. Ball is tipped, so another point for the Lady Bronx. All of a sudden, we're tied 4-4. Dominiak with the set for Howell. Off the hands of the libero, which is Karen Lyons, a 5'6 senior out of McAllen, Texas. Jessica Miller with the serve for the Dons. At the net, nice tag team block between Claire Jackson and Jessica Dominiak.
Well, Michael, my role as the relief pitcher has been fulfilled. I came in for a couple of quick outs, and now you'll be joined by your regular sidekick. You and I will hook up again tonight on radio.
Thank you much, Kent. That last point is by UTPA. Kent is leaving the scene, and we're joined now by Mark Franke, who's one of the assistant coaches for the men's volleyball team. 6-5 is our score. IPFW on top. UTPA in the green and white jerseys, and they'll get a point off a touch. Mark Franke, welcome to the broadcast.
We're doing a broadcast today? I apologize. I had it down for tonight. I thought we were televised the night game.
Now, the night game tonight is on radio. Tomorrow night, we're on TV again.
Okay.
Flip-flopping back and forth. We're in game 1 of our best-of-5 match between the UTPA and IPFW. Lady Bronx with the serve. Nice dig by Peachy Jankowski. And 4 hits means UTPA will get the point, and they get their first lead of this match. Serving for UTPA is Chrissy Kerrigan, a 5'11 senior out of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Sonara Martins with a good effort. Nice dig by Jankowski and Jessica Dominiak, the left-hander.
It helps to be a left-handed setter because you can do that. You can swing at that ball.
We're tied at 7, and there's Nicole Howell, number 2, going to do the jump serve. And unable to retrieve it is Chelsea Blakely for Pan American. 8-7 is our score. IPFW going from left to right on your television screen. Just long with the serve is Nicole Howe. So UTPA will take over the serve. Kelly Phillips. She's 5'10 out of Chandler, Arizona. Maniac setting up Claire Jackson. Mark, we had Claire on our Kelly's Corner show this week.
She set the blocking record, I saw.
Yes.
I had no idea she was that close to it. She had to beat out a bunch of really good blockers to take that school record.
That dig that time by Christine Simon, who's on the floor for the first time. Jankowski with the dig.
Miscommunication.
And unfortunately, the Dons cannot get it over. The point goes to UTPA. We're tied 9-9. Substitution for the Lady Bronx. Number 7 is Yitzo Trinidad. She's a 5'3" sophomore out of Mercedes, Texas. And she will serve. Miniak setting up Martins. And
down the line, it was wide.
it's a different team without Fabiana Sosa on the floor, Mark.
I don't think they've really established a set starting lineup yet, have they?
They still are tinkering, shall we say. Oh, there's a nice play. Rebecca Ream is a 6-foot freshman out of Wilshire, Ohio. She gets the kill, and we're tied at 10. And here is the left-handed setter, Jessica Dominiak, with the serve. The quick hit, and it's wide.
He called it out, he saw it, and I saw it out also.
Lady Bronx thought they might have the point, but it's not. 11-10, IPFW with the lead and the serve. Oh, nice little play there. Chelsea Blakely is number 11. She's a 5'6" sophomore out of Houston, and she is the setter. Back and forth we go. Blakely to serve. Jessica Miller will get credit for the kill.
She hit that out of the middle, but they've got her started in the opposite position. I think she started middle early in the season, and they're playing her opposite late. We'll have to talk to the coaching staff before tomorrow night's broadcast and find out how that's working for them.
Sonara Martin serving for IPFW. Blakely setting up Bravo. Oh, nice dig that time by Howell. Coming through is Jessica Miller.
That's the more traditional opposite attack from the right side of the net. But she started left front before, and that's why they moved into the middle, where she's more comfortable than on the left side.
Little float serve there.
Oh, set was too low.
Yeah, unable to get to it was Mallory Wilson for UTPA. It's now 14-11. The Dons up by 3. Sonara Martin's continuing to serve. There's the set. Dug out by Howell. Again, a set. And Miller comes up with the point, and we have timeout on the floor. Our score, IPFW 15, UTPA 11. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on College 5 Sports.
Good quick call. I would have called her out.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. Along with Mark Franke, this is Mike Maas. Game 1 of our best-of-5 match between IPFW and UTPA, otherwise known as University of Texas Pan American. The Dons up 15-11. And early on, Mark, IPFW hitting well, 444.
10 kills and 18 attempts. That's real good with only 2 errors. I think the offense on Pan American, they were forcing the middle too much, it seemed to me. They had 3 or 4 straight sets there, and 2 or 3 of those were off poor passes.
Sonara Martin's continuing to serve for IPFW. Oh, a nice kill there by Heather Bravo. Bravo was a 5'11 senior out of Las Vegas, Nevada. She is the go-to girl for UTPA.
Blakely went outside that time. He said that she was forcing the middle. Apparently the coaches told her that too.
Boy, Jessica Miller is on fire. She gets another kill, and it's 6 already. 16-12, Mastodons on top. Rebecca Ream serves it into the net. That is a service error. And now here is Karen Lyons, the libero for UTPA, with the serve. Miniak cross court to Howell. Oh, nice dig that time.
good alertness by Claire Jackson there, and that overpass came over. She went up immediately, swang at it hard. Aggressive play at the net. That's what you need. You have to control the net, especially with the kind of experienced middle that Claire Jackson is.
Jessica Miller with the serve for the Dons. They're up by 4. Oh, quick hit that time by Monique Shaw, number 3. She's a 5'11" junior out of Filer, Idaho. Transferred from the University of Southern Idaho.
And a defensive substitution coming in. Jamie Schwartz for Jessica Miller in the back row.
Chrissy Kerrigan to serve for the Lady Bronx. Jackson, dink shot. Oh, dug out nicely by Bravo. At first you don't succeed, try again. Howell with a dig.
She's in good position, just mishandled the ball.
Bronx set it up. And coming in with the kill is Kelly Phillips. 17-15 our score. You see Kelly Hartley Hutton right in front of our location. Kelly in her 8th year here at IPFW. High serve that time for Kerrigan. Martins right at the hands of Bravo.
That pipe set, the middle of the back court, is a standard in the men's game. You don't see it as often in the women's, but Sonara Martin's been getting several of those sets this year, and so obviously it's a go-to when setter's in trouble here when Sonara's in the back row.
The set, oh, nice tag team block. Jackson and Martins. Claire Jackson number 4, Sonara Martins number 8. That's always been a strength of IPFW under Kelly Hartley Hutton, is the defense and the blocking.
Especially team blocking like that, where 2 blockers or even 3 sometimes go up together and put up a block that's not penetrating. You either have to hit over it or around it.
Another service error by IPFW. That's a little bit of a concern. Now here is Kelly Phillips with the serve. Dominiak for Jackson. Pitter patter. Jackson with the block, and it's
the call. She got the line call. That was a nice block.
Well, if you could see the look on Claire Jackson's face, waiting to see which way that call was going to go.
Yeah, she had to go up in a hurry. She probably blocked a little harder than she wanted. Just instead of going down, it went out, but she got the call.
Peachy Jankowski, the libero for the Dons, serving. There's a dig by her as well. And the block attempt is wide, so it's point IPFW, and now it's a 21-16 Mastodon lead.
That was the same thing we were talking about with Claire Jackson. In this case, it went out of bounds, and you block it kind of straight up, and it goes out rather than extending over the net and blocking it down.
Jankowski getting to serve as a libero, something new this year. Oh, wow. Good hit that time by Heather Bravo for the Lady Bronx.
Clearly, Pan American has taken advantage of Jessica Dominiak, who's fairly short and doesn't jump real well, so that's a weak spot in our block. After getting blocked on the other side, they went away from that block and towards the setter. And that's pretty standard. If you have a shorter setter in the front row, you want to try to work on her as much as you can.
Yetzo Trinidad is in to serve for UTPA. They're down 21-17 here in game 1 of our match. And nice little dink shot there by Rebecca Ream. Jessica Miller back in for IPFW, replacing Jamie Schwartz. Dominiak with the serve. And it's long. Have to get the calculator out to count up all the service errors.
Yeah, we don't have that stat up on our live stats here, but there have been enough of them, even since I got here.
Blakely serving for UTPA. Oh, what a hit. Mark, I mentioned to Sonara, she was on Kelly's corner this week as well, along with Claire Jackson, that she is actually getting out of the shadow of Fabiana Souza, even though they're from the same town in Brazil.
So even here she felt like she was in the shadow, or back home?
I think here.
Every setter will go
even though they played together for a couple of
setter
years. And Sonara mentioned that when Kelly and the rest of the team made their visit down there, when Kelly found out about Fabiana Souza, she also found out about Sonara. And now with Fabiana Souza on the bench helping from a thinking standpoint, Sonara has more freedom on the floor, so to speak. ball is hit into the net by Phillips. And IPFW now stretching out their lead. It's 24-18, and a timeout is called by head coach Dave Thorne, the first of 2 allotted timeouts per game. Join Coach Kelly Hartley Hutton on College 5 for Kelly's Corner with highlights and perspective from the coach and her guest. Here's truly, Mike Miles will host the show. It's on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, Fridays at 7 o'clock, and Saturdays at 12:30 right here on College Cable Access Channel 5. Something else we have to get used to, Mark, a new number. Instead of College 56, it's College 5 now.
We're back on Channel 5. We were on 6, weren't we?
When I started back in 1995, yes, it was on 6. Then we went to 56, and now we're moving back up the ladder to Channel 5.
When did that happen?
Not too long ago. We're actually being simulcast on both Channel 5 and Channel 56 right now.
And then
January 1st is strictly Channel 5.
Wow, we've gone uptown. We'll have to improve our act. I'll try to act like I know what I'm talking about.
You do. I'm the one who has to get with it. Players coming back on the floor. IPFW in the white jerseys with blue numbers and blue letters, except for the libero, Peachy Jankowski.
Now this serve, Mike, needs to be in. Oh, nice.
It is, and it actually handcuffed the libero, Karen Lyons.
When you come from a timeout, you had a run, the other team calls timeout. Even if you have an aggressive server, you ask them to take a little bit off of it out of the timeout so they don't air then. Now she can crank it up a little more.
Don's up by 7. Blakely hoping to. Oh, there's a little miss hit by Martins in the back row.
That set was low. The sets to the middle on the Pan American side have been generally low.
Miller, knocked down nicely by Blakely. Jankowski with the dig. Oh, good play at the net that time by Deanna Schneier, number 12. Schneier is a 6'1 sophomore out of Diamond Bar, California. Normally a starter, but for coaches' reasons, did not start here today. Service error makes our score 26-20 in favor of IPFW. Rebecca Ream to serve. Oh, nice block there by Jackson. Don's unable to keep that ball alive, however.
No, but that was a nice block. Just didn't terminate. It was good cover on the part of Pan American. I didn't see who picked it up, but she was right in the position to do that.
Monique Chow, number 3, back in the lineup for the Lady Bronx. Serving is Karen Lyons. Oh, nice block there by the Bronx.
I think maybe the set dropped inside, but Jessica Miller should have been farther out towards the pin. But the blocker adjusted real well.
The Mastodon lead is down to 4, 26-22. Nicole Howell, change of pace shot. UTPA keeping it alive. Jackson, and that's blocked.
Kelly Phillips got that one too.
Dominiak with a dig. Martins dug out by Bravo. And the long attempt, is it touched?
They're
no.
calling for a touch. Not getting the call though, are they?
Kerrigan thought she hit it and it was touched, but that's to be the case. 27-22, IPFW with the lead and the serve.
They're bringing her in on 2. Rolls it over the block.
Kerrigan with that little change of pace.
It was a combination play that Claire Jackson went up with the middle attacker, and then she came around on the 2 and soft rolled it into the open spot in the middle of the floor.
Substitution for IPFW. Jamie Schwartz back in for Jessica Miller. Chrissy Kerrigan to serve for UTPA. Miscommunication perhaps. Dons get it over. There's a touch. Who's going to get it? And Kelly Hartley Hutton says, let's call a timeout of our own. She's seen the lead drop from 6 to 3. It's 27-24. And Mark, you're going to see there the brain trust at work.
Well, right now, we're just a little bit out of sync, and that needs to be settled down. It can be. It's not very bad yet, but Pan American's making a run, and so it's a matter of cooling them off a little bit, getting us back in sync, and going out and playing aggressively, getting the last 3 points. Now that's the theory, and sometimes it works.
And sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't work so well.
Quick look at some of the numbers. IPFW hitting 316, UTPA hitting 194. But outside of Jessica Miller, 6 kills. It's pretty much an even distribution on both teams, sharing the glory, so to speak.
2 more errors by Pan American, 3 more kills by IPFW, so that's a difference of 5 right there, 5 points, and we have 1 more block, so there's 6-point difference. So the other 3 must be service errors or something.
Well, let's see what happens. Kerrigan will continue to serve. 27-24 the score. Dominiak setting up Martins. That's dug out by Bravo.
Oh,
Double hit called that time on Chelsea Blakely.
I didn't see it, but they're not arguing it.
Well, here's the time that IPFW needs to put this game away.
Exactly.
Nicole Howell will serve. So that dip down on the floor. Dominiak with a dig. Martins. Blakely keeps it alive.
Good cover by Jackson. Give it back to her, that's the way.
And there it is. Little running shot by Claire Jackson.
That backslide, she developed it quickly because she had done the cover on that, picked the ball up, and then quickly slid behind the setter.
Game point for IPFW. And it is not
Touch.
the game. There is a touch. So Kelly Phillips will get credit for a kill. She will serve. It's 29-25. Read the chant in the background. Dominiak for Martins. Well, that's blocked. Howell from the midcourt.
She rolled it.
And that is
Oh, we got a touch. Got a touch.
So UTPA stays alive, and they actually closed to within 3, 29-26.
We weren't aggressive enough on that transition play. Either Nicole Howell wasn't ready or wasn't expecting it, but she rolled it instead of attacking it.
Dominiak
There we
for
go.
Martins. Blocked. Martins again, and she's short. And now the lead's down to 2, 29-27. I think there might be a substitution for the Dons.
Amanda Feaster.
Amanda, the senior out of DeKalb High School.
When you see a hitter roll in that kind of situation near the end of the game, you know it's a loss of confidence. So it's a good sub. Let Sonaris Martin sit down a minute or so and get her confidence back.
Well, again, Kelly Phillips ready to serve. It's 29-27, another game point.
Our offense has not clicked for several plays now.
And that is long, and it is game to IPFW by a score of 30-27. It wasn't pretty, but the Dons get the job done. Now we'll get ready for game 2. We'll take a break and then come back with the second game of the match. Again, the Dons win game 1, 30-27. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on College 5 Sports. everybody to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. This is the first day of the IPFW Invitational, and this is match number 2. IPFW defeating the University of Texas Pan American in game 1 by a score of 30-27. Mark Franke, any numbers that stand out to you from game 1?
I just quickly recap team points. We had +3 on hitting, +1 on blocking, -1 on serving. There's a 3-point difference. But individual stats, going to IPFW quickly here, are significant. Sonara Martins was a go-to gal in the team. 14 attempts, 14 sets, hitting 7%. She had only 3 kills and 2 errors. Jessica Miller was our top hitter with 6 kills, 62%. Claire Jackson, Nicole Howell, both no errors, but not many kills.
You look at there, the assists even at 16. Diggs 21-16 in favor of UTPA. Kills 17-16 in favor of IPFW. And
IPFW, shortly after I sat down, I apologize again for being late, but IPFW was hitting about 40% at one point. In fact, you even called that out. And then it slowly fell as our offense got out of click and became less aggressive.
UTPA will serve first here in game 2. Again, they are wearing the green and white jerseys with white numbers, white lettering on the back, except for their libero, who is Karen Lyons, number 9. She's wearing an orange and white jersey.
Let's see if we get in the right rotation here.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Chelsea Blakely is going to serve for the Lady Bronx, and game 2 is underway. Martins had an awfully tough angle to try to get over, and she hit the pole.
Yeah, that was a bump set, and it was too tight to the net, and since Martins was way outside, she didn't have much of an angle to go for.
1-0 Lady Bronx. Dominiak setting up Martins again, and that time Sonara didn't make a mistake, and she had more room to do what she likes to do.
It was another not very good pass, and that set dropped inside, and Martins adapted to it.
Jessica Dominiak, the dot with the left-handed. Blakely. And
oh, no, we got in the net on that. IPFW was in the net. That was a mistimed approach by the middle, and we were in the net.
Kelly Phillips. No, it was Schneier, number 12.
Schneier was the one who was going for it, but missed it. We're just out of sync. We're not sharp.
Well, unfortunately, there's plenty of time to get things corrected. Dominiak for Martins on the right side, right off the hands of Heather Bravo.
I think what's keeping Pan American close is their defense. I think you mentioned they had more digs in game 1.
Yes.
And I think that's what's keeping them competitive, and the mistakes we make.
Sonara Martins with the serve for IPFW. We're tied at 2, game 2. Good dig by Dominiak. Free ball chance coming up for UTPA. Phillips gets the kill. Kelly Phillips now with a half a dozen kills. 3-2, UTPA on top. Karen Lyons, the libero, serving. Digging.
Oh. Nicole Howe probably earned that one. It was another poor pass, and the set was just kicked to her, and she rolled it, but rolled it effectively to the right spot on the floor.
Rebecca Ream, one of the freshmen on the floor for the Dons, serving. Good dig by Dominiak. Ream off the top of the tape. And a lift going to be charged to Chrissy Kerrigan, number 1. The point goes to IPFW. Ream with the jump serve. Bravo just gets it over defensively. Oh, Claire Jackson is really developing into a player in her senior year, Mark. Putting some offense besides the blocking that she's been known for.
Obviously, her blocking's been very good, but you're right, the offense, and she's been most effective on that back slide.
Another point for the Dons.
Heather Bravo just didn't get to it. I think she was fooled by it, and by the time she reacted, it was too late.
6-3, IPFW by 3. A little bit of a roll. Blakely, the setter for UTPA, right at the net, couldn't do anything. And right in front of us, you see Dave Thorne, the 9th-year head coach at UTPA, telling his gals to settle down.
He just adjusted his passing. set up. That Ream's been going at the seam between the middle back and the left back, and that's caused a passing miscommunication.
Timeout has been called by UTPA. We'll take a break as well. 8-3 Dons. This is IPFW Women's Volleyball on College 5 Sports. Back at the Gates Center along with Mark Franke. This is Mike Maz. Game 2 of our best-of-5 match. IPFW ahead 8-3. They won the opening game 30-27. Mark, we mentioned this is the Invitational as you get a look at Rebecca Ream, the freshman out of Ohio, getting ready to serve. Continue my thought after this point. Bravo with a defensive return for the Lady Bronx. There's Jessica Miller with the kill.
I don't know if that was a planned combination play or everybody just showed up at the same time, but it looked like we had a player in front, a player behind, and then one in the back row right behind.
Ream with another strong jump serve. Oh, good dig by Miller. Dominiak going to set up Nicole Howell. Oh, that's a nice block there by Kerrigan. And back and forth we go. The set for Howell. Yes. Nicole Howell with the kill. I started to say, Mark, this is the Invitational. The Dons get to play 4 matches in 2 days. And there are some quality teams here. Miss hit, 4 hits, and it's another IPFW point. 8 in a row now for IPFW. It's 11-3. Big run of serves for Rebecca Ream. Oh, good block there by Miller. Kerrigan with a kill attempt, thwarted. That was the libero's ball. She was coming behind, and the left back, the wing should have gotten out of the way. But you know, you go for the ball when you see it. April Young is a 6-foot sophomore from Boise, Idaho. She's in for Chrissy Kerrigan. Young wearing number 14. It was a 3-2 UTPA lead, is now a 12-3 deficit. And make it 13-3. Started to say in the first match today, Mark, South Dakota State, the defending independent champions, knocked off North Florida 3 games to none.
4 hits.
4 hits charged.
I think it must have bounced between a couple of them when it's down on near the floor.
The run is over. Kerrigan back on the floor, replacing Young, and she will serve.
Pretty good for a freshman server, isn't it?
Reminds me of something that happened in one of the men's matches last year, and I can't think of who it was that just went on a tear. I'll think of it before the day's over, hopefully. Jessica Miller got set up nicely by Jessica Dominiak. It's now 14-4.
Well, it looked like that was a combination, what we used to call the 51-61 play. And set the hitter behind the setter.
2 substitutions, Amanda Feaster and Shannon Reuter. Reuter is a freshman out of Tiffin, Ohio. She's serving. Dig that time by Martins.
Wow.
Oh, good play there, and Monique Shaw gets the point for UTPA. There you see Kelly Hartley-Hutton.
And I criticize her setter for forcing the middle in game 1, and obviously that's their plan. The middles are there ready. And when it clicks, it's tough to stop on transition.
Feaster, dug out by Kerrigan. Again, look what I found, shot by Shaw. Back-to-back kills for Monique Shaw. And it is 14-6.
They've got her listed in the roster as an outside hitter, but she's playing middle today.
Nice play at the net by Claire Jackson there. 15-6 our score. Nicole Howe to serve.
Came under the net.
What you call handcuffing the opposition.
Yeah, the passers are really struggling with our aggressive serves, and the setters just going all over the court to try to keep the ball in play.
Blakely trying to set up Bravo, and it's long. And IPFW with a definite advantage now. It is 17-6.
She needs to try to come back to the middle because that's clearly where the strength is. Just won't go to the middle.
Again, a block. Martins and Jackson were right there, and they took care of Shaw. And everything going right for IPFW and everything going wrong for UTPA. Bravo, and it's blocked by Feaster. Amanda Feaster, the senior from DeKalb. And there is a service error by Nicole Howe. And that will bring onto the floor once again Yitzo Trinidad, number 7. She's a 5'3" sophomore out of Mercedes, Texas.
Did we go to a 6-2? I didn't see that last sub. Amanda Feaster's in the opposite position.
Right, and Reuter came in with Feaster.
Yeah, okay.
Reuter's a setter.
I remember in the first game I said that we were being hurt somewhat by the Miniacs' shorter block, and so by going to the 6-2, the setter is always in the back row. Or maybe she's just giving her some time. I don't know. We'll see when she rotates around the front.
Reuter with the set for Jackson. And I think there was a net violation, Mark. I think that was the call.
I didn't see it.
In any event, Peachy Jankowski is going to serve. She's happy that liberos get to serve now.
I don't like that rule.
I knew you didn't. Oh, good play there by Heather Bravo, number 2 for the Lady Bronx.
But I had to promise Bernie Lohmiller, a station manager, that I would not criticize the rules this year. I got all the way to game 2 of the first night, right?
Well, yes, we. Mark just got the go-ahead.
Bernie just said, go ahead.
20-9 is our score. The Dons on top. UTPA will serve in the person of Chelsea Blakely, their 5'6" sophomore setter out of Houston. And that serve is a little bit long.
Yeah, see, we went to a 6-2, Mike, so we're using 2 different setters. They rotate through the back row only, and so we're using 2 opposites, and the opposite's always front row. Gives us a bigger block, more offense, but primarily it's the block.
Dominiak in to serve, and that ball was just ripped off her by Heather Bravo. Point for the Lady Bronx. It's 21-10.
Jessica Miller did not get out soon enough to seal the antenna, and she came right down the line. It was a great shot.
Martins with the dink shot. Oh, that's dug out nicely by Bravo. Jankowski with the dig for IPFW. Oh, nice dig there, that time by Schneier.
We didn't have that angle covered, and that would have been a logical angle to cover on that block, given the angle of the attack.
21-11 now the score. Free ball chance coming up for IPFW. Oh, mistimed jump by Jessica Miller. And that's 3 points in a row for the Lady Bronx from Edinburgh, Texas, not too far from the Mexican border. Miniac setting up Martins. And it's in, according to Eric Bowman, our up official.
Is that on the east side of the state?
The southeast corner.
Southeast corner, okay.
I had a chance to go
Down
with the
from
IPFW women's
Brownsville?
basketball team down there last year, yes, for a couple of games. They almost made it to the Mexican border trying to find their team hotel. Miller dug out that time by Blakely.
I think maybe that was out. To be safe, they played it.
Good athletic move that
Oh,
time
great.
by Schneier.
Yeah, that was.
Deanna Schneier mistimed her jump, but got her left arm up there.
Yeah, that was a strong play by Schneier. Rebecca Ream wasn't there in time.
22-13 is the score. And good effort by UTPA, but unfortunately, they cannot get the ball over. So the lead is back up to 10. Rebecca Ream to serve. And Ream, a freshman out of Ohio. Good jump serve there.
It was too low again.
Miniak to Ream.
Oh, we weren't ready. Nicole Howell should have just hit that ball directly back.
Good block by Shaw. There's another point for UTPA, and now a substitution as Chrissy Kerrigan is back in, and she'll serve. 23-14, the lead down to 9. Dominiak for Howell. The setup for Sonara Martins from the middle. Found the open spot. Kerrigan could not dig it out cleanly.
Claire Jackson was in the way. Sonara Martins couldn't aggressively attack the ball.
Shannon Ruder back on the floor. She will serve. Off the net, it's still good. Unlike seasons past, it's fair game now, and that goes in the books as a service ace. The set by Blakely.
I was looking at the stats here, Mike. The IPFW hitting hasn't improved that much, but Pan Americans has dropped, and that's been the difference primarily because of our serving. They've not been able to run their offense. It hasn't been our offense that's been controlling the game for us. It's been our serving.
Martins from the middle of the court. Dug out by Blakely. Kerrigan hits it into the net, and it's a point for IPFW. Can we use the term sloppy to describe the play right now, Mark? Because I know that Kelly Hartley-Hutton is not very thrilled with the way her team's executing.
I don't think it's quite as sloppy as it was earlier.
Ruder setting up Martins. Dug out by Heather Bravo. Blakely to Bravo. It's dug out by Martins. And that attempt by Chessie Blakely is a little bit wide.
I think, Mike, it's not so much sloppiness as that both teams are out of system and they're just keeping the ball in play and they're doing what they can given the fact they can't run their offenses. I guess that's a definition of sloppy, isn't it?
That's a good idea. Patty Azevedo is in. She's another of the newcomers. And a miss hit there by Kerrigan gives IPFW a point, and it's now 28-15. Don's just 2 points away from taking a commanding 2-game-to-none lead. Jankowski with the dig. Feaster, yes, off the hands of Kerrigan. And we are at game point. 29-15, Nicole Howell with the serve. And that hit is long by Monique Shaw, and game 2 is in the books. 30-15 to score, so IPFW takes a commanding 2-games-to-none lead. We will take a break. There is a long break between games 2 and 3, and we will come back shortly. Again, you are watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on College 5 Sports. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. We are in between games 2 and 3 of our match featuring the Mastodons of IPFW and the Lady Bronx of the University of Texas Pan American. You're looking at Kelly Hartley Hutton on the right in her 8th year as the head coach here at IPFW. And to her right or your left on the TV screen, you saw yawning my cohort when we do men's volleyball, Mark Franke, Steve Flory, who's in his 4th year as Kelly's #1 assistant.
And he was yawning?
And he was yawning, so you can get back at him at some point down the road. Game 1 was a close game, won by IPFW 30-27. Game 2, not really a contest. At one point, it was 14-3, or I should say 13-3 in favor of the Dons. 19-6, and ultimately the IPFW won that second game by a score of 30-15. And we were just handed the composite numbers from the first 2 games.
Well, IPFW is winning every statistical category team-wise, but some individual statistics I think are important. The 2 biggest hitters on Texas Pan American, Shaw, #3, and Phillips, #10, are both, one's hitting 15%, one 8%, a team percentage of about 10, slightly under 10. And that's really their offense. So when they're not clicking, and they're not clicking because our serving has been aggressive and they've not handled the ball on the pass. So the setter has done a lot of release sets, a lot of bump sets, sets off the net, drop inside, and it helps our blockers.
Looking at some highlights here, Jessica Miller got off to a great start for IPFW in game 1. Got 6 kills in that first game.
So that was like a play I called before that the libero should have taken that.
Good play there by Claire Jackson.
Yeah, there was a missed timing on the first one, but she immediately came back up to take advantage of the overpass.
Shannon Reuter setting up Sonara Martins. I love these new slow motion replays.
So there was a bad pass that resulted in what I would call a trap set. The hitter had no chance whatsoever. Going back to the stats on our side of the net on IPFW's, Sonara Martins, our leading attacker with 24 attempts, but she's only hitting 12-13%. So our leaders, Jessica Miller, 8 kills and 12 attempts, 58%. That's really good, even especially for opposite, which is primarily where she's playing from the right side tonight. Claire Jackson, Nicole Howell, both hitting mid 30%. That's pretty good too. So our offense is fairly well balanced, and Sonara Martin, which seems to be the primary target for our setters, is not doing well offensively necessarily, but others have stepped up, and that's exactly what you want to see. In fact, when I first got here, we talked about how IPFW is not quite lined up yet in terms of what's their starting lineup. They've tried different arrangements. Players are in different positions. You know, that's a glass half full, half empty situation. Half empty saying, well, we can't figure it out. I mean, we're doing things. But the half full aspect of it is you have options. You have a lot of good players on the bench. Some of them are younger, so they need some experience and playing time anyways. But you have options. So if something isn't clicking, even for a given night, you have a player who has an off night, maybe she's been sick that week, you can do something else, and your team isn't hurt overall.
Well, and I think most of the gals, and I've spoken with Kelly, because we've done a couple of Kelly's Corner shows now. Once the team finds one gal that can become that go-to gal, who in essence is going to take the place of Fabiana Souza in a clutch situation, I think this team will be ready to gel. Now, will they be as good as last year's 24-6 team? Truthfully, I don't know. The Dons have played 3 Big Ten schools, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Michigan. Ohio State and Michigan are both still undefeated in the top 16 in the country. So the quality of opposition has gotten tougher. And if the Dons win this match here, they'll go to 10-8, and they still feel that they can win over 20 matches, which will be the 4th year in a row if they can pull it off. Yeah, that's a real tough schedule to start with. And I won't say that we're in a rebuilding year, but we lost our All-American candidate. We lost our setter, both those to graduation. And so 2 key players have been added to the lineup or taken from the lineup, and those positions had to be filled. So to go up against that kind of quality Big Ten and some of the MAC teams we played were pretty good too. It was an aggressive schedule, but it helps prepare us for the end of the year. Well, we will take our final intermission break and then get ready for Game 3. Again, the Dons ahead in this match, 2-0 over University of Texas Pan American. Back in a moment with more IPFW Women's Volleyball on College 5 Sports. We're back once again at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. In roughly about 45 seconds, we'll start Game 3 of this match. And Mark Franke, we've talked about this many times over the years. When a team is up 2-0, you worry about a letdown. Might there be a letdown in Game 3 here?
I've told people, in fact, I got an argument with our chancellor one day about it. Not an argument, but I just told him I thought that the most common outcome in volleyball is a team wins games 1, 2, and 4. They win the first 2, then they have the long break, come back a little lackadaisical. The other team's fired up. They make a run, and before long you realize that you're losing Game 3.
Look at some of the numbers. Assists, 29-22 in favor of IPFW. 7-5 blocks in favor of the Dons. UTPA ahead in digs, 36-32. IPFW has more kills, 30-22. The Dons hitting .281. The Lady Bronx minus .061.
Those hitting stats I don't think are right. They might be Game 2. We're hitting 27% and it's 9.5% for Pan American. I bet they got the hitting percentages off Game 2.
Anything is possible. The Mastodons will serve first. Jessica Dominiak, the left-handed setter, will have the honors.
Let's see what we're doing
It's
here.
got Rebecca Ream, Sonara Martins, Jessica Miller, Claire Jackson, Nicole Howe, Peachy
Pretty much how we've started each set tonight, this afternoon, I should say. I will see how quickly we go to the 6-2, if at all here. And we'll know in 3 rotations from now.
We shall see. Dominiak waiting for the whistle from the up official, Eric Bowman. There it is, and Game 3 is underway. Blakely setting up Deanna Schneider, and Schneider's kill attempt is long. 1-0 Dons. The quick start, something that Kelly Hartley Hutton is looking for. Schneider dug out nicely by Nicole Howe.
Nope.
Martins
didn't go.
Unfortunately, hit the top of the tape. So we are tied at 1. Heather Bravo to serve for UTPA. Oh, nice block that time.
Oh, mishandle.
By April Young.
Let's see if.
Oh, good block by Martins. Maybe a little bit of help from Miller, but I think it was mostly Sonara Martins with the block there.
Well, that set was obviously coming because the setter didn't handle the second ball. And so you know it's going to go to the outside in that situation. You can set up the block.
Right there.
Sonara Martins, junior out of Belo Horizonte, Brazil. I had fun pronouncing that when we did Kelly's Corner the other day. Same town as Fabiana Souza.
Well, then you should have had practice on it. This is your
It's
fifth year
my
pronouncing
fifth year
it.
of saying it. You're right. You would think I would know by now. But then it's me we're talking about. Oh, good play there by Kelly Phillips coming up the left side and knocking it home. We are tied at 2. Karen Lyons, the libero, serving for the Lady Bronx. The Maniac cross court to Howell. Nice block at the net there.
Nice recovery. Nicole Howell was immediately recovered and took the ball to target to the setter so we could run a quick offense on transition, and a quick offense on transition is very, very difficult to stop.
Rebecca Ream with the jump serve right in the middle of the court. Blakely for Young, and that's dug out by Martins. I have loved seeing that move, Mark. Claire Jackson, I never remember the name of it, but that running move.
Backslide.
Backslide. I just love seeing that. It's 4-2 IPFW.
And it has a backslide with a 1-foot takeoff because you're really running parallel to the net behind the setter and fairly tight to it. So then you take off and you kind of long jump toward, and ideally you're out near the pin when the set arrives. And it's a flat, quick set, so it's a really quick attack.
Rebecca Toddy has come off the bench to serve, and not being in the game, she serves it long for an error. It's always got to be tough, someone coming off the bench and comes right in to serve. Even though you practice and warm up before the match, if you don't come in for a while.
I guess it's like in basketball, coming off to shoot a free throw.
That's true.
Or a place kicker coming in with the clock running out.
Long is the attempt by Kelly Phillips. 6-3. I take that. Well, I thought it was 6-3, but the scoreboard says 5-4.
We're out of rotation. Well, no, we're not.
Okay,
I didn't see what happened.
Okay, the point went to UTPA.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I saw. Yeah, because Reuter had the ball in her hands to serve at the other end. There's a service error.
I didn't see that call, so I don't know what happened.
Well, it is now 6-4, and we think Nicole Howell is going to serve, although Patty Azevedo comes in for Sonara Martins. Eric Bowman, and there seems to be confusion. And now Eric Bowman says, let's go, and Howell will serve. Yeah. Double hit by the setter, Chelsea Blakely.
You saw that one kind of roll off. You knew that was going to be called. I don't think it's a matter of humidity in the gym or excess amount of perspiration on the ball because it's not that warm in here.
No. Howell got it off the tape and fell onto the other side of the court, so she gets credit for a service 8. And the Dons are up by 4, 8-4. Trying to put the knockout punch to the Lady Bronx. Oh, nice block by Feaster at the net. But UTPA perseveres, and they come away with the point. And coming in now off the bench, Yitzo Trinidad. She is UTPA's designated server, I think. Reuter for Howell. Dug out by Schneier. Bravo will get credit for the kill.
So that'll be the next rule change, a designated server. You have one player that serves the whole match. She never enters the court. You have 6 players on the court. Someone just stands back there and serves the whole time.
I wonder what Arnie Ball would think of that. Oh, there's a nice play by Feaster. Amanda with the kill and the lead back up to 3 at 9-6. Peachy Jankowski to serve. A little lollipop float serve. Oh, nice dig that time by Howell. Acevedo is long, and it's a point to UTPA.
I think that was her first attempt. Yes, it was.
9. Now more confusion reigns.
They're out of rotation.
Chelsea Blakely is going to serve. April Young has come onto the floor. Reuter setting up Feaster, and blocked nicely by Bravo. Set. for Rebecca Ream, and Rebecca hits the kill.
I have to say, Mike, for the ball handling problems that Texas Pan American's having, they're doing a nice job at the net. Their blockers are in the plays. We're out blocking them 8-5, but they've gotten a lot of touches that have helped.
Jessica Dominiak with the left-handed serve.
Wow.
Schneier is low. Oh, she's going to get the point. They're going to say it was touched.
That was pretty amazing out of Blakely. She was kind of going lateral when she set that ball.
Bravo with the serve. And IPFW with the point. And our score is 11-8. IPFW on top. They lead the match 2-0. Patty Acevedo will serve. She's a 5'9" junior, also out of Belo Horizonte, Brazil. And the ball goes off her hands, and it is a point for UTPA. Martins back in, one Brazilian for another. Karen Lyons, the libero, to serve for the Lady Bronx. And her service long.
One thing Sonara Martin's done very well this afternoon, in spite of her hitting problems, is she's had a good eye on passing. She's gotten out of the way of the balls that have gone out, and she's, I think, called them all right. Oh, that was nice. Didn't go down, though.
Patty cake. April Young blocked by Jackson and Nicole Howell.
I think what was really great about that was 2 overpasses. Both times we were up quick, and we hit the ball hard. They dug it. And then we came back up for that overpass to get it on a block.
At the net, Jackson, oh, nice dig by Bravo. Nice block by Jessica Miller. 14-9 to score. IPFW on top.
When you get a team block out of Jessica Miller and Jackson, it's a pretty good block.
Blakely tries to change a pace return instead of a set. That's denied. Good dig by Dominiak. Blakely setting up Young, off the hands of Jackson and onto the floor. It's a point for UTPA.
Mike, when Claire Jackson got the school record for career blocks, who did she beat out? Let's see here.
Jessica Miller's sister, I think.
Oh, really? Chrissy Miller?
Chrissy, yes, who had 307 in her career. Good play there. Monique Shaw with the kill, and here comes UTPA again. They are now trailing by just 3, 14-11. Rebecca Toddy with the serve. Good dig by Bravo. Phillips dug out. Blakely again for Phillips. And net violation, I believe.
Your assistant coach is not to give gestures. Your assistant coach is not to comment on judgment calls. The yellow card's the next one.
Eric Beaumont saying, tell the assistant coach he's not to comment on judgment calls. I think that put Coach Johnson out of business if he couldn't make comments on calls.
That's right.
I'm sure Coach Florio is another assistant coach that makes comments on judgment calls.
A double hit on IPFW, and all of a sudden their lead has shrunk to 1, 14-13. And there still seems to be confusion on the court.
Well, and the confusion is certainly working to IPFW's disadvantage because all of a sudden the lead went away.
15-13, IPFW with the lead. There's a timeout. We'll take one as well. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on, we think.
Media timeout.
Yes, there is a timeout. You're watching IPFW Women's Volleyball on College 5 Sports. back at the Gates Center along with Mark Franke. This is Mike Maas. We were looking at a replay of a point. Ball driven off the hands of the libero for UTPA, Karen Lyons.
Real quick on that issue about Claire Jackson's blocking record. I'm looking at the individual records. Julie Hefty, who was a middle in that great team of the mid-'80s when we were Division II that won the conference every year, was undefeated some of those years in conference. She has 414 solo blocks. Now, solo block counts as one. An assist counts as a half. Claire Jackson leads in assists, and maybe that's the record she took in block assists.
Yes, but it's block assists.
Okay. So she got 313. That's 150. So she's still a ways behind Julie. Julie Hefty's still around. Comes to a lot of the matches. Looks like she could still play too.
Shannon Reuter will serve for IPFW, up 15-13 here in Game 3. And that kill attempt by Rebecca Toddy is a little strong. So the lead moves up to 3, 16-13. Oh, nice block by Claire Jackson. There's a solo block, right? (17-13) now our score.
Our blocking lead is now 11-5.
Blakely going to set up Phillips, and that is a tag team block. Feaster and Jackson.
On that. Well, there's a sign over there that says Claire's block countdown. The number stuck on 1. I don't know what that means. What they're counting down to anymore.
I'm not sure, because she broke the record in Ann Arbor last weekend against the University of New Hampshire. There's another one right there. A solo block.
Probably the students who brought it didn't realize that.
Dave Thorne said, enough is enough. It's time to call a timeout. Learn more about Mastodon sports by tuning into Mastodon Spotlight each week here on College 5. Here's truly Mike Maas, reviews the recent IPFW sports activities. We look at game footage and we visit with coaches and student athletes. Again, it's Mastodon Spotlight now in our 8th year. Wednesdays at 6, Fridays at 6, and Saturdays at noon. Catch it right here on College 5 Sports.
You ever going to invite me back on your show, or am I still banned?
Yes, I'll invite you back.
There we go.
There we see the block by Claire Jackson.
When they're easy, you better get them, because you pad your stats with those. And it's an easy point. You need that point.
Now, what we talked about once again, Claire Jackson is really blossoming into a more complete volleyball player, while at the same time maintaining her 4.0 average in biology.
Yeah. Right.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I never even took biology.
I barely passed it once, subject to a recount.
Oh,
at the net, I think Claire Jackson.
She's getting over anxious, but aggressiveness is good.
The point goes to the Lady Bronx of UTPA. It's now 19-14, IPFW with the lead. And it looks like Kelly Phillips will do the serving. Conventional serve. Reuter to Jack. Oh, nice block that time by Shaw. Nicole Howe. Dug out by Bravo. Here's Heather Bravo again, and that's off the hands, I think, of
Nicole
Howell.
Think.
So 2 points in a row for the UTPA Lady Bronx.
Block was real vertical there. Neither player, Howell nor Jackson, got their hands over the net.
Long serve, too long for Kelly Phillips, a service error. In fact, a quick look, in the first 2 games, nope, that's the wrong match. First 2 games, there were 3 service errors by UTPA and 6 by IPFW. Oh, nice.
And the majority of those came in game 1, about in the middle range of game 1, I think.
It is now 20-16. And again, coming into serve is Yitzhak Trinidad. Reuter, the Feaster, and it's in for the point. Boy, did Amanda Feaster get up in the air vertically that time.
Yeah, that was what we'd call a 2-set. She was not the primary hitter out of that location. She came from behind and and then attack the ball a little higher and a little farther back off the net than the middle would.
Peachy Jankowski serving for the Dons. Short set by Blakely, and Deanna Schneier knew what to do with it. Got it over the net in a hurry. Here is Blakely, the 5'6" sophomore out of Houston.
Oh.
Setting up, Bravo. Good dig by Shannon Reuter. Feaster off the hands of Blakely. That one had to smart a little bit. A little bit of power there by Amanda Feaster.
And I think what helps in a situation like that, okay, it's not a great set. I think in that case, someone else handled that second ball. But you go up and you attack it hard. You find where you're going to go, and you attack it aggressively and let the other team make the mistake.
Jessica Dominiak with that left-handed serve. Bravo, dink shot. Azevedo digs it out. Miller dug out nicely by Lyons for UTPA. Rebecca Ream finds the open court. 23-17. IPFW starting to pull away here in game 3. Another serve by Dominiak. Bravo. Ream blocked that one. Jankowski with the dig. Salvato gets it over. Free ball opportunity. And the Lady Bronx are too strong. Schneier just a wee bit strong there when UTPA had a glorious chance to get the point.
I think she was too tight, so she didn't put a lot of into the ball. She actually hit it weakly, and that's why it went out. She couldn't control it. Couldn't hit it down with topspin.
Peachy Jankowski with the dig. And the Dons will get the point on the touch.
There's that pipe set again. That really helps the offense. If you can get a back row hitter effectively in your offense, it really helps.
Blakely setting up Bravo, and it's off the hands of Miller. So point goes to UTPA. They are still fighting hard, even though they trail 25-18 here in game 3. Bravo with the serve. Phillips, dug out by Dominiak. Back row shot by Nicole Howe. And Kelly Phillips comes through with a kill for the Lady Bronx. Perspiration being cleaned up on the floor by Nicole Howe. Boy, she can come to my place and clean it if she'd like.
You have a lot of perspiration on your floor at home?
What can I tell you? With a wife, 3 kids, and a granddaughter, why not? That'll get me into trouble. Dominiak setting up Acevedo. Right off the hands of April Young.
Now we need to maintain our aggressiveness here, get these last 4 points and not let up.
The freshman jump serve. Phillips from the left side, and it's dug out. Miller, and that's dug out.
Wow. Would not have expected her to do that.
Blakely setting up Phillips, and that's blocked at the net by Miller. And off the touch.
Back. She was out of position.
Point UTPA. It's 26-20. IPFW rather wanting to just close things out sooner rather than later. Dominiak for Miller. Off
got
the
the
ball.
antenna. It's that backslide again you like.
I do like it. I don't know why. Well, I watched Fabiana Souza do it for 4 years.
It's been a long-standing play in the women's game. The men have adopted it too.
Nicole Howe dug out by Blakely. And too many hits for UTPA. 27-21, Rebecca Ream, the freshman, will serve. Service ace. Oh, that was nice, right at the feet of Karen Lyons.
She just doesn't let up, does she?
No.
Just goes back there and wails.
That time she wailed too much.
It was the toss. Usually when a serve goes bad on a jump serve, it's the toss.
Rebecca Totti back on the floor, and she will serve for UTPA. 28-22 our score. IPFW 2 points away from a match victory. And now it's one short set, and Claire Jackson knew what to do with it.
Yeah, she was, earlier the set was slow, so she was coming down, and she just kind of threw it into the back corner.
We are at match point. Jessica Miller with the serve. And that goes off the hands of Heather Bravo, and just like that, this match is over. Game 3 goes to IPFW by a score of 30-22. So they win the match 3-0. And the game scores 30-27, 30-15, and 30-22. IPFW improves to 10-8. UTPA drops to 3-11. But there is still much more volleyball to come tonight and tomorrow, Mark. But some thoughts on the match once you finally came over and watched it.
Yeah, once I bothered to show up. And I want to thank Ken Horman for stepping in. Probably people wished he'd stayed and I'd not come at all. But it appeared that when I came, the match was sloppy. You called it sloppy. I tried not to, but you're right, it was sloppy. And IPFW got a lead, then gave it up and held on to win. Game 2, we were a little stronger. Our offense clicked at certain times, but not consistently through the night. It was balanced at least, and that allowed it to have some success over the length of the match. Our blocking was good, but our serving, I think, is what did it. And what does that show on the final stats for service aces?
Well, we can talk about that in a moment, but we'll take a break. We'll compile the numbers and, again, talk about this match and talk about what's ahead for IPFW women's volleyball. Again, the Dons win this match with UTPA 3-0. We're back with more IPFW women's volleyball in a moment right here on College 5 Sports. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. Along with Mark Franke, this is Mike Maz. The IPFW Mastodons have defeated the Lady Bronx of the University of Texas Pan American by scores of 30-27, 30-15, 30-22. And Mark, we're going to see some replays here momentarily as you get a live shot of the Mastodons huddled around their head coach, Kelly Hartley-Hutton. And let's take a look at some of these.
Probably should be a block, yes.
IPFW very good at the block.
There's that. That was just maybe a 4 set. It was not a backslide because she came straight on from behind the setter.
Amanda Feaster with the kill there off the set from Shannon Reuter. Jessica Miller with the kill there. One good thing as we watch these replays, Mark, Kelly Hartley-Hutton got to rest some of her starters. The match only went 3 games, and there are still 3 more matches to be played in the next roughly 29 to 30 hours for the Mastodons, including a big one tonight with South Dakota State University, a team which defeated North Florida in the first game of the IPFW Invitational 3-0. Jackrabbits, defending independent champions who knocked off IPFW in the independent semifinals in the tournament there last year. They're 11-4. I had a chance to watch them against North Florida. They run the middle quite a lot. In fact, I was talking to Kelly Hartley-Hutton about that, how they run the middle, and that's something that she will talk with Steve Florio about when they get ready to prepare for tonight's match.
Yeah, not only do we have that situation from last year where we feel like we owe them from taking us out of the independent tournament, but they're also joining the mid-con with us, and we'd like to establish our superiority over the Dakotas that are coming in with us going into conference play next year. So there's a lot on that, let alone it's just they're a good team, and we're playing at home, and we'll have a bigger crowd since it'll be in the evening. A lot of reason to win.
Well, IPFW actually has the lead all time, 2-1 over South Dakota State. With this win here today against UTPA, they now are 6-0 lifetime against the Lady Bronx. So again, another win, 10-8 now on the season, and 4 wins in a row for the women's volleyball team. So some good numbers there.
We talked about the rough start at the beginning, primarily because they were playing such great teams, Big Ten teams, MAC teams, top teams. 2 you said that are in the top 25 of the nation.
Top 16.
Top 16 still undefeated.
Yeah, Ohio State and Michigan. Looking at some of the team numbers, IPFW 41-39 advantage in assists, 13-5 advantage in blocks. UTPA outdug the Dons today 50-45. Kills went to IPFW, the advantage there, 42-39. 265 attack hitting percentage for IPFW, 186 for Texas Pan American. And I think the biggest thing, number one, the Dons won the match in 3, so they get the rest. Number 2, Kelly got to play a lot of her squad in the match. So, again, combination of rest and experience produced there. And now, and I said this to you during a break, I think that IPFW was looking ahead to tonight early on, but I think Kelly righted the ship between games 2 and 3.
Yeah, certainly. Offensively, we struggled a little bit, but we had good balance hitting. I think the 2 statistical categories that were most important and showed why we won this match. Blocking, we outblocked 13-5. That's an 8-point difference. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's reflective of controlling the net throughout the course of the afternoon. The other stat, and this is amazing, Pan American had 7 errors, no aces on serving. We also had 7 errors, but we had 10 aces. And whenever you have more aces than errors, that's an excellent night in serving. It means you're serving aggressively, you're disrupting the other team's offense, their ball control is hurt, and everything is out of sync on the other side of the net.
Well, we'll let you go and do your other duties with the university, but remember, we have a match tomorrow night at 7:30 against North Florida.
That's at 7:30?
7:30
I haven't got the
tomorrow
wrong
night.
time for tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, 7:30.
Okay.
Be there or be square. Well, at this point, we would like to thank the college. In fact, before we start thanking people, we want to remind you that we will be on the air again tomorrow night at 7:30. Mark and I, IPFW playing host to the University of North Florida, the final match of the IPFW Invitational. So join us for that telecast. Again, we'll be on the air at 7:30 tomorrow night. Now, we would like to thank the College 5 production crew, the IPFW athletic staff, the City of Fort Wayne, Comcast Cablevision, the IPFW Learning Resource Center, and especially the IPFW Office of University Relations and Communications for their contributions to this College 5 Sports telecast. This telecast of IPFW Sports is copyrighted and is the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized duplication, exhibition, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this event without expressed written consent is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this telecast of IPFW Sports, and we thank you once again for joining us today. For Mark Franke, this is Mike Maas, and again, special thanks to Ken Horman as well, saying so long for now. Once again, IPFW victorious over University of Texas Pan American by scores of 30-27, 30-15, and 30-22. We'll see you tomorrow night, but until then, we say good night from the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW.